Good evening, everyone. Earl Campbell here from Eastern Shore Undercover, and this is going to be our first podcast, official podcast. We've done our little videos here and there, but this is our first true podcast that we've done. Episode 1. It's a great one. It's going to be one that will resonate with our community for at least the next year. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now, I want to take a minute and I want to say thank you publicly to everybody over at Pohanka Toyota. These guys have been really busting their butts over there trying to sell cars to help us out with our canine vest program that we've been doing. And, last weekend we went down, took a picture with the big old check with Mr. Will Toadvine and Austin. Austin is one of the sales guys over there, and he's awesome. I know his dad. His dad used to be a police officer. And those guys really care about our law enforcement. So a big thank you. If you need a vehicle this weekend, head on over to Pohanka Toyota. And if you don't find nothing there, swing on over to Pohanka 4 because they're also in on this and they're also helping out. So great people, a great company, always in our community. If you've looked at any of the fire department events that they've put around the community, these guys are always, Pohanka's name's right out there in front of everybody, doing great things for our community. So great big thank you to those guys. We really do appreciate them. Now, let's get into the nuts and bolts of what today's abbreviated podcast is all about. So, as many of you are aware, several months back, there became conversation about the encryption in Wicomico County. I've been very vocal about it to the point that I probably got on some of your nerves about it. But I truly do believe that it's very, very important for transparency and for keeping our community updated and educated of what's happening in your neighborhoods and in your towns. So a few weeks back, Wicomico County Sheriff's Office went encrypted. And they were followed by the Fruitland Police Department, and then the Delmar Police Department, and Salisbury University Police Department. Basically, anyone that used the county tower went to an encrypted frequency. Maryland State Police and Salisbury Police Department were the only two agencies that stayed on the public frequency where you can listen to them on a public scanner or an online program that you may have. Now, granted, you can still listen to the fire departments and you can still listen to the EMS calls. But when that happened and when they went encrypted, it basically cut off our ability to provide coverage for those areas, which many people expressed their displeasure. A lot of people were genuinely upset about this. A lot of people kept reaching out to us. So they had different suggestions of what we should do. Everything from petitions to, going to the county council meetings as a group. Some wanted to do letters to the county executive. And my response to everybody and everything was always the same. Let's just be patient. I firmly believe that in time, cooler heads would prevail and common sense would come through. At that time, it might have looked like I gave up and just allowed the encryption, just ignore it and move on. But that wasn't the case. I started talking to people here locally, on a state level, in Annapolis, and for the last several months, we've been very busy, very vocal about this whole encryption, and more so about transparency. I sent emails. I legitimately have spent countless hours writing our politicians, community leaders, to help with what I feel was very important to our community. A few weeks ago, I put together an extremely long email, and I sent it out to some people. And in that email, it included various information about states that have gone encrypted and then have since reverted back, or states that have passed legislation to remove the encryption. There was many states that have gone to an encrypted platform and then believe that, maybe this wasn't the right thing to do, especially when it comes to our media outlets. The media outlets is who have really hurting from the encryption, community in general. But for a media outlet, many of us rely on having that scanner where we can tell and get news about what is happening. And what I found was when I was doing my research from all the states across the country, is a lot of these rushed the decision to go encrypted. There was not a lot of forethought put into it when a lot of these agencies went into the encryption. But what should have happened and what was recommended was the fact that it should be a delayed signal on the encryption. And what that means is it's not taking that away from you. It's not taking the ability for you to know what's happening, but it's just giving a delay on the radio so that if Officer X is going to a call, there's most agencies, it's a 15-minute delay all the way out to, I've seen it as far as 30-minute delays. There were many other items that were in that email. Again, not only Maryland agencies, but agencies all around. There's legislation coming out in New York. There's legislation in Chicago and Illinois. And basically what all these do is they create a checks and balances of the community and law enforcement and the media. One of those individuals that I spoke to about the encryption was Wicomico County Executive Julie Giordano. Ironically, and I've spoke to several people about this, is, county executive's office owns the radio channels, and they own the radios that, the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office use, and they own the tower and the frequencies. They're all owned by the county executive. And several months back, there was a meeting among local leaders here in Wicomico County. And that's when the decision was made to encrypt the law enforcement channels. The reasons given was basically officer safety. I could harp on that, but it's in the past, and I'm not looking to be in the past. I'm looking to go to the future. Looking to move forward, put the past behind us, and continue doing good things in the community. The bottom line, County Executive Giordano stood by her leaders' recommendations, and those individuals who she puts in place to make those decisions, and agreed to the encryption. Now, excuse me. That being said, as I've always said on here, you guys have heard me say it many, many times in all my videos, and I've posted various different articles, posted various different social media comments, saying that County Executive Giordano is a very understanding person, and she has common sense. If you show her that the county is in danger or the county is setting themselves up for lawsuits, she's going to act on it. I explained that we did various surveys. We polled the community, and you guys have all seen these questions that I put up. What do you feel about the encryption? How does the encryption affect you? Various different, questions that I've posed to you guys, asking, hey, how do you feel about this? I can go in there and say whatever I want, but the fact remains, it's you guys that your voices need to be heard. So I explained that we did all this stuff, and that I truly felt that this was a very valuable piece of information that was being taken away from the citizens in Wicomico County. County executive wanted to look into it and do her own homework. She wanted to, do her own research. She doesn't want to just take my word on it or some papers that I give her. She wants to do her own homework and look into it. Keep in mind, I've sent that same email to various different members of the county council. I've sent that email to some people in the city council, Salisbury City Council. I've sent it to some various local leaders. And I got a mixed reaction when I got back. Some were, for it, some were against it, some which just didn't know. They were very honest with me. Like, look, I don't understand this encryption stuff. It's not my position to make a comment on it. And I respect that. About 2 weeks later, I had a conversation with her, and I brought it up again, and she said she was still looking into it, trying to come up with a way of utilizing a platform, something similar to like a Broadcastify or something similar that would provide a delayed broadcast so that they were in compliance with the PIA and but also something that's not going to cost the county a tremendous amount of money. For those of you that are unaware, to set up a signal and all the bells and whistles for a platform like Broadcastify, I'm hearing it's somewhere in the range of six figures. Very expensive. Something that, as a taxpayer, even I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, more conversation took place, and she came up with the means for local media outlets to have access to information without placing officers in harm's way, yet allowing the media to continue to provide news to our community. Once again, there was a problem, there was an answer. The problem was the encryption, keeping officers safe and keeping Wicomico County in compliance with the Public Information Act. And the answer was simply Julie Giordano. County executive getting it done, coming up with common sense means to overcome those issues of officer safety, the Public Information Act, and everything that we've talked about. And with that being said, today at around 2 o'clock, many of you have seen the press release that's come out. We signed an MOU with Wicomico County. And I'm just going to read this to you. This from the county executive's office. It's Wicomico County Eastern Shore Undercover LLC signed MOU to ensure transparency and adherence to the PIA requirements for 911 radio communications. Wicomico County is pleased to announce the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Eastern Shore Undercover LLC to enhance transparency and comply with the Public Information Act PIA requirements concerning 911 radio communications. As part of this one-year agreement, Wicomico County and Eastern Shore Undercover LLC will work together to ensure the radio communications from the main dispatch channel, which are deemed as public record, will be released to the public and are accurate and timely. Key measures implemented through this collaboration include, and it goes into the various different things, and I'll post this on our website later. But basically, it's, we're going to delay the channels, everything that we've been doing for officer safety. It basically solves the issue we've been battling since October of 2023. This was made available to all media outlets that are trademarked and accredited. I do not know which ones took advantage of the opportunity, but we did. We signed the agreement today at the government office building, and we're going to start officially publishing all calls on Monday. We just have some stuff that we have to do here internally and take care of all that stuff. I want everyone to know, as much as I would love to take credit for it, I'd love to pat myself on the back. The savior for Eastern Shore Undercover and local media outlets here on the Eastern Shore is none other than our Wicomico County executive, Julie Giordano. She cared about our community. She cared about transparency. She wanted to make sure there's no issues in the future with lawsuits or with, staying in compliance with the PIA, the Public Information Act. I've worked on this since October 23, and I admittedly failed. I've been open about it. I said, look, I lost this battle. Hopefully I don't win the war, and my hopes were that I would convince a legislator in Annapolis, which, I do hope that does also still happen. However, County Executive Giordano just came up with a resolution in just a few weeks. I guess that's why she is in the position she is, and I'm sitting behind this computer with a microphone in my face. She's going to solve problems, and she's going to look out for the citizens of Wicomico County. And I'll forever be thankful and very grateful for what our county executive, Julie Giordano, and for her common sense leadership. Cared about transparency, cared about making sure our community is informed on what is happening in our community, and for coming up with a resolution. So, again, starting Monday, we will start posting all of the calls this weekend. It's going to be basically changing over. I'm going to be going from one of these guys here, using this little pager that I've been using for many, many years now, to one of these big boys. So, be a different radio for Wicomico County. the rest of the fire EMS stays on the little pagers, and we'll run with them. But it'll all be back to normal. And that's really it. That's all I have to say. It was a big announcement. I promised you guys we were going to make that announcement today. And that's what we have. Before we get out of here, I just want to say thank you to everybody for their support of Eastern Shore Undercover. Thank you for following Eastern Shore Undercover. Wherever you're watching this video, whether that's YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, wherever it is, do me a favor, and very important for these videos, if you click that subscribe button down below, very important for me, and give it a like if you don't mind. These video outlets, they love that stuff. So I got to play along and do my little deal there. So do me a favor and take care of that for me. Hit the subscribe button and throw a like on it, and I appreciate it. And that's all I got for today. Was it a little bit over 16 minutes? Starting next week, our podcasts are going to be a little bit different. We'll have guests on here. I just wanted to be the first one here, just to basically go over everything with you and say, hey guys, we're back. We fought a hard, tough battle, and thanks to County Executive Giordano, common sense, good leadership, we will be able to continue providing the coverage to Wicomico County and surrounding areas as we have for the last over 4 years. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. It's Friday night. Me and Miss Eastern Shore Undercover, we're here until at least 11 o'clock tonight. And then we'll be back here in the morning. Have a great day, everyone.